And here we are, another Tiger Sports Saturday, and you know what that means. It's another edition of Fishing with Dylan. We got Mr. Dylan Thompson with us today. How you doing there, Dylan?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
You know, it's been one of those weeks where I wish I could get out and fish. It's just been a little hectic here at the studio, but yeah, I guess I've seen a lot of people fishing, and actually even some people skating across the whole lake without any real snow cover. People were able to skate across the whole lake.
Yeah, the other day I was driving around the lake and caught one of those hockey rinks with a fire pit next to it, and I snapped a pic of that because I think we talked about that the first week I was on. So that kind of cracked me up. Somebody's actually out there doing that.
So yeah, first of all, let's talk about last weekend. You went up to Wisconsin Dells. You had a big conference up there. How'd that all go?
That went really good. Couple really good speakers. Justin Hamner, who won Bassmaster Classic this last year, which, if anybody knows anything about that, it's basically the Super Bowl of fishing. He had a really nice chat presentation for us. And then Tom Wynn, if you're in the walleye tournament scene, you know who he is. Another really awesome presentation. And then lots of networking, meeting with different industry reps and things of that nature, and a few fishing tips sprinkled in there.
Well, that's good. And then I know you had said you had seen someone that was up there that said they've actually heard you on Power 96 and said you're doing a good job. And
yeah, I was. That cracked me up. I was walking through the show floor, and somebody looked at my name tag, and they were like, "Dylan Thompson, did I hear you on the radio?" And it kind of stopped me, and I asked him where he was. He said he was in Mankato. So yeah, we're reaching somebody.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear. So what do you got this week as far as maybe some news, some updates, maybe some new fishing tips?
As far as local stuff, the Big Freeze put their little announcement out for what they're planning this year, and their big day is going to be the 8th of February. They'll do the medallion hunt and everything else like normal, a little pond hockey tournament from 9 to 2. And then they've got an ice fishing tournament from 1:30 to 3 out of the city beach. I'm not 100% sure what the boundaries are. I don't remember in the past. I think they've kind of restricted you to that beach area, but that's not bad. Those panfish roam that transition line where the sand ends and the mud kind of gets going, so you can catch some quality fish out there. They're asking $10 a hole for that. So yeah, check all that out. I'll post the flyer up on my Facebook page at Fishing with Dylan for more details. So that's probably the coolest local thing I saw. As far as an actual report, we've got a nice mild weekend coming. Fishing was a little different this week with the cold and then the warm-up. It was warm, cold, warm. So I think they need to settle in a little bit, but now we got more warm coming. So hard to say how they behave. Most recent report I got, the guy got some walleyes to eat, right around sunset, 5 o'clock to about an hour after, 5 to 6, something like that.
Yeah, and I know I was just looking here, too, as far as ice measurements. So a couple days ago on the Freeborn County Sheriff's Office Facebook, ice measurements were taken on Fountain Lake. West side of the beach had 12 inches of ice at 600 feet from shore. The Edgewater boat landing had 11.5 inches of ice at 800 feet from shore. And on the south side of Hatch Bridge, there was 11.5 inches of ice at 650 feet from shore. I know we talked about this a little bit last week, too. The Old Beach, kind of a very popular spot with a lot of ice fisher people around the area. That Old Beach had 12 inches of ice at 400 feet from shore. And then the Edgewater Fishing Pier had 11.5 inches of ice at 400 feet from shore as well. And so we're getting to that point. I still don't know if it's safe enough yet to drive, a bigger vehicle on.
A foot is probably okay for most vehicle traffic, but again, be careful and double check. But you were approaching that zone where you'd be comfortable driving, a half-ton pickup with a single axle house out. We're in that ballpark now. So again, do your checks. Be diligent, but we're getting into that heart of winter where you'll start seeing some wheelhouses out and about on local lakes. And, yeah, that's good. People can spend some time out there and hopefully hook into something.
Yeah, and they also said remember to take care of the lake, keep it clean, and get rid of your garbage.
I shared that post from the sheriff's office, and the one bummer about it, there was somebody left a bunch of garbage out on the ice. So we really want to try to avoid that. Let's keep the stuff clean, because, where do we think that's going to go when the ice melts, right?
Well,
into
that's
the water.
Just it. No one ever really wants to catch a pop can or anything like that, especially with the amount of money that sometimes people will spend on these lures and jigs and things, and all of a sudden, you get it snagged on something down at the bottom.
Yeah, a dirty sock or something. Gross.
So what have you been hearing as far as what people are really catching things on this week?
So the walleye guy I talked to said he had a tip-up out and a jigging spoon, chartreuse glow, I think he told me it was.
Have you heard any other, as far as where the best places to catch fish maybe are at right now? I know I've been hearing a little bit of roar about over on the Edgewater side.
That has been, quote-unquote, heating up, so to speak. I haven't heard a ton of info yet, but it sounds like that's starting to get a little more attention. Stuff's starting to happen over there, go check that out.
Any other lakes around the area that you've heard have really been picking up?
Clear Lake down in Iowa has been doing pretty good, and then some of the lakes in the Faribault area are starting to give up some good fish, and everything kind of lines up with the low light deal. That pre-sunset into about an hour after sunset has been the best bite window pretty much everywhere.
Have you been hearing anything about overnight fishing?
Some, not as much. I know a couple guys that are still pretty wild, and they're running into sporadic fish, and that was on Fountain. I don't know of anybody else on any other lakes real late at night.
Okay, so best time to get out right now is kind of that sunset area.
Sunset area.
All right. Well, what are your big plans for upcoming? Are you going to be out on the ice at all this next weekend and coming into the week to test some things out that you learned, or?
So this coming weekend, I might be able to sneak out Saturday morning, but I actually am finalizing a deal on an upgraded pickup. And if I don't get that done this afternoon, I got to do it tomorrow morning, so I won't be able to get out fishing. The guys out at Wharfline have been awesome to work with on that. If everything goes smooth with that, I'll get out tomorrow morning, but I have an engagement party and some other nonsense. Teddy needs to wrestle this weekend, so I don't know if I'll make it. Better window looking next weekend for me to get out and actually wet a line. And then I guess one last thing with the mild temps, if people are into it, maybe go out and start trying some shed hunting. The first antler drops should be really starting. Some areas to focus on, I would say, would be fence lines or small creeks, anywhere the deer might have to jump, or like a pinch point. You'll start seeing antlers. And yeah, that's a fun thing to start doing now. And with the mild weekend coming up, that might be a good one if you're not out fishing. Okay,
sounds good. Yeah, like I said, I know shed hunting is pretty big in this area. So for those of you who are going to get out there, get out this weekend, start checking that out. Otherwise, we'll see over the next couple of weeks. Should really start to see the sheds falling.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, this has been a Fishing with Dylan report here on Tiger Sports Saturday. Dylan, I want to thank you again. And like I said, get out there, get some fishing done. And hopefully you can get your line wet as well. And we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, if not this weekend, next weekend, having a ton of fun. Like I said, running into that guy from Mankato was a blast. So hopefully people are finding this, if not useful, at least entertaining, right?
Well, that's all we try to do, is just be entertaining and give a little piece of information here and there to our listeners, and you're definitely helping with that. So
awesome.
All right, well, thank you, Dylan, and this has been a Tiger Sports Saturday Fishing with Dylan segment here on Power 96.